I can't believe it's finally been a year, but it's been a year in LA, and I have a lot to tell you about. Hi friends! Alright, this is the second time I'm filming this video because I got a new microphone! Everyone say yay in the chat. Yay! LA is one of the most popular cities in the country for many different reasons, and I understand why. Beaches, city, suburbs, parks, so many coffee shops, so many things to do, community, fame, fortune. There are a lot of reasons why people come to LA. But let's talk about both the pros and the cons and my experience living here the last year, what I've learned, what I can share, what I advise you to do if you are someone looking to move out to LA. Let's just break it all down. These are the things that people always tell you about LA. Oh, the traffic's bad. Oh, it's expensive. Oh, the people here are fake. It's dirty, etc., etc. And I'm not necessarily here to tell you that any of those things are wrong. But I'm here to shed light on the things that kind of balance that out, okay? If you're gonna move to any major city, be prepared for all of those things to be true. Traffic, expensive. But to be fair, everywhere's kind of expensive. I digress. There are going to be pros and cons to any place that you live. So let's just go over all of those that I think make LA what it is. So my experience, I do have a separate video about how I moved to LA, all the things that it took to get me here, what happened, but I'll give you a quick rundown. So my experience has been pretty good so far. I moved here a year out of college. I moved here with my fiance and my siblings. We got an apartment together in just outside Culver City. Our rent was super cheap. It was great. It was a renovated apartment. All good things. I got a job at a restaurant nearby, so I've been working in Culver City for the last year, but I'm here to break into the film industry. I want to be a director. I want to be a cinematographer, and I've just kind of been dabbling in a lot of things since then. So that's my experience so far, brief rundown. However, I'll say first things that were difficult for me moving here. It's easy to feel lonely in the city. I've heard a lot of people experience that. I was lucky where I moved with family, so I had a built-in community in my own apartment, so it was a lot easier for me to not feel lonely. But I hear a lot of people say that it's moving to a big city with no one that you know, your family's not around, that can be an extremely isolating and lonely experience. And the transition was hard. California is very different from Colorado, and unlike most places, honestly, but you have to embrace that change and embrace the things that are different. Otherwise, you're just gonna move back home. If you wanted to live somewhere familiar, go back home. Moving to LA partly is to experience how different it is because it is very unique. It's a very unique place. I first want to talk about some pros, okay? Before we get into the cons, before we get into the negativity, the pros. The weather, it's amazing. It's just a nice temperature all year round. Of course, it does get hot in the summer, so it's perfect to go to the beach. Peak beach times are going to be August to September because that's the hottest. It actually is surprisingly chilly at the beach, so you don't really swim much of the year. But it also, on the flip side, does not snow. It doesn't get very cold during the winter. It just stays a nice temperature all year round, and I very much appreciate that. This last winter, not having to drive in snow, it was my first winter not driving in snow, and I was so grateful. I never have to wake up early and clean the snow off of my car. I don't have to shovel the sidewalk outside my house. Little things like that are very nice. Spring so far has been my favorite season because everything's blooming. And low-key, everything's kind of blooming year-round because a lot of the plants here aren't native, so they're kind of just blooming yearly. But spring has been my favorite. That's when the most blooms. In my last apartment, it was so beautiful because each street would bloom a different color. All the trees on one street were purple, all those trees on one street were red, some were pink, some were, green. But it was just so beautiful to see all of the different flowers, bananas growing. It's just so lush and naturey out here. Another obvious pro is the beach. Although people told me this when I moved here that I wasn't going to go to the beach as much as I thought I would, unfortunately that's rang true. I live a little bit farther from the beach now. I just moved into my new apartment 2 months ago. But when I moved here, I was I'm going to go to the beach once a week. Doesn't happen. Work gets busy, I get tired. It's maybe too cold for the beach. I do still go to the beach more than I did in Colorado. That's true. I try to just make little trips when I can on my off days, or even a day where I have the morning off. I'll go grab a coffee, grab a breakfast sandwich, and I'll just sit at the beach and eat that. I don't necessarily go for full beach days. I've had one full beach day with like swimming, packing a snack, you know, the whole thing. But I try to just like go shop, work at a coffee shop, go see the water as much as I can. I want a Malibu day, my next day off. I think I want to do like, there's still so many beaches up there that I haven't experienced. So Malibu might be seeing me very soon. So another pro that I'm going to put in here that some people might think is a con, but I'm going to say it's a pro, is community. This can be a con to some people because I think a lot of people think that LA can be a lonely place, like I was saying before, but I've experienced both sides. I will say in my experience, everyone that I've met here is here for a similar reason as me, and that feels incredibly safe. Everyone here is out here to pursue some kind of creative journey, building something, seeking something. Everyone here has dreams, and that on one hand is like, oh gosh, like there's so many people like me who haven't made it, and on the other hand, it's really cool to see people who are trying to make that work. Whatever creative dream you are pursuing, there's a space for you there. And I see so many people online building, like especially in terms of like women in film, because I'm obviously a woman in film. I see people creating production companies centered towards that. I see people talking about women in film. I went to a networking event last year called Women in Entertainment. It was a Women in Entertainment Summit, and it was amazing. It was one of the highlights of my last year, seeing people, there were panels of people talking about upcoming projects focused on women. Stars, the company that made Outlander, they came and talked about Outlander and how women focused that show is, and just like it helped build community. Like I met some good friends from that summit, all people, all young women like me who are in film, who just moved here. There are run clubs, there are craft clubs. On TikTok, I was scrolling and I saw a group of young queer people meeting up every Tuesday to learn how to DJ together. Little groups like that exist everywhere. Like my For You page knows me extremely well and promotes really cool things for me, and I'm sure that will happen to you too. Like the most important thing when you move out here is just to go out and talk to people. I know, everyone says that. Everyone's like, you gotta network, it's all about your network. Unfortunately, that's true. Pro, similar to this, if you want to create something, you have the resources to do it. Now, I'm not talking money. I don't know how much money you have, but if you need to rent gear, there are 1,000 gear rentals around you. If you need to find crew, there are so much crew around you. This is again created towards film, but for any creative pursuit, there are so many craft stores, so many craft markets, so many crafters. There are so many writing workshops. There are so many, there's a store in LA where you can buy you can buy reusable film props. I don't know what it's called. I'll put it here when I find it. That place I've been meaning to go to because it's just like by the pound, I believe. But you can just go here, find any film prop that you need, and it's not wasted. There's so many local places to rent to film out. Everyone's creating like I am. I see people with cameras everywhere. Like you don't have to feel like ashamed to pull out your camera. Everyone's doing it. In today's age, everyone's doing it. Like in terms of community and just creativity, everyone's free to be who they want to be. Like it's kind of similar to, I've never been to New York, but I assume it's similar to New York in that way where like there's a lot of freedom in terms of who you want to be. You can be that here. Another pro, interesting architecture. I love all the Spanish architecture in LA, and I've been doing research about like the history of LA and where all this architecture came from. A lot of it was built post-Civil War. So many buildings have this really cute like 60s charm to it. Again, the Spanish architecture is beautiful. Again, coming from Colorado, it was just so interesting to see the difference between Colorado architecture and California architecture. And like California is very big on preserving that history, and so it's just cool to see all the retro signs everywhere. There are relics of old classic Hollywood out here. There are museums everywhere for everything, art, history. Like there's so much to learn out here. I haven't hit all the museums yet. There's so much culture. If you like old Hollywood, I do still see glimmers of that here because I'm obsessed with old Hollywood. Like it's not all gonna be brain rot TikTok, if that makes sense. So that was really fun. Apartment hunting the second go around because I just moved, like I mentioned. I moved 2 months ago out of Culver City. Now I live in West Hollywood and I love it. It feels glamorous up here. It feels like the place I should be in my 20s. You know, people go out, people shop, people want a matcha. You know, this is the place that feels more like where I want to be. quickly go into the cons. I do just want to touch on these because they're something that you have to think about if you're going to move here. Like you're going to move anywhere, you got to be realistic about what you're getting yourself into. So cons, cost of living. Sorry guys, that's not a surprise. Rent and gas particularly are very expensive. It's kind of expensive everywhere though, you know, but you know, I was looking for a 2-bedroom out here this recent go round, and it was starting to get very difficult for me to find a 2-bedroom less than $3K. Gonna be honest, like with certain amenities, of course. Like if you want an in-unit washer and dryer, you're gonna be paying at least $3K for a 2-bedroom. 1-bedrooms, I'm gonna say like around what I've heard is like people spend, this is with a roommate or without a roommate, at least $1,500 in rent each month. So for a 1-bedroom to studio, I think you're going to be paying more to $2K, if not more. Like if you want an updated kitchen, updated apartment in general, if you want like in-unit washer dryer, expect to pay more towards like maybe $2,500. Again, you do find pockets where people are giving you a really good deal. It's not like Colorado where like everything's kind of bought up by big companies. There are a lot of smaller private owned buildings where people will give you a deal. Like you're not going to find everything on Zillow, you know? I would just kind of drive around and see, like drive around in the neighborhood that you want to be in and just call the numbers on the signs, because those give you a lot better deals sometimes than what Zillow is going to show. A lot of listings just aren't even on Zillow. They just don't even post, you know? So I did find my apartment on Zillow, but I think mine was a rare occurrence because the next door neighbor just moved out and that apartment never went on any platform and there's already someone new living there. So gas, I do have an electric car and I highly recommend that you get that as well. I think California is trying to get to all like hybrid or electric cars by 2030. That seems like kind of, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off, but I got an electric car before I moved here and I highly recommend doing so because it's a lot cheaper to charge than to fill up on gas. So like I have a 2024 Subaru Solterra and it is a slow charger. Like it probably takes me an hour to fully charge. So I'm paying with my time, but to fully charge it probably takes like $25 to fully charge versus a tank of gas is what, $5, $6 out here for a gallon? I'm not paying that. So, you know, do what you will with that information. In terms of like LA being expensive, there's a funny general consensus that being broke in California is better than being rich anywhere else. I'm gonna say that's true for now. It's very easy to picture myself living elsewhere with, you know, less rent and maybe a bigger, nicer apartment. But it wouldn't be LA. But it wouldn't be the space that I've created here. But for now, I'd rather be broke in LA than rich anywhere else. Let's get real about the job market. If you're moving to LA for the film industry like me, it's pretty difficult to break into. I've heard people say like because the film industry is struggling, less people are trying to break in, but in my experience, it feels like I'm just competing for entry-level jobs with people who have years of industry experience. Like I've been job hunting for the last year and a half, and I cannot find a full-time entry-level film job. So take that advice. It's about your network once again. I've even tried networking on LinkedIn. I've tried talking to people. So far, and if you're looking for like a full-time job in the film industry, that's just been pretty hard for me to get to. In terms of freelance, I've done a lot of freelance work. Woo! Love working for free. But, you know, just be prepared to like work for free for a bit, build your resume, build your portfolio. It also gives you a good opportunity to kind of find where you want to go. Like I've done a lot of soul searching in my industry and like, do I want to be a camera operator? Do I want to be sound? Do I want to be a cinematographer? Do I want to just be a director and a writer? Am I a writer? Do I like writing? And I've asked myself a lot of questions about a lot of things, and I've kind of determined that like if I'm not finding a 9-to-5 now, maybe it's just not meant for me. So I'm just gonna pour my heart into freelancing, pour my heart into this channel because I love creating my own stuff. I want to be my own boss. I want to build my own businesses. So, you know, luckily LA is one of those places where like I said before, that's something that will really flourish here. That's something that's really accepted here, is creating content and building stuff. Like, you know, I've met fashion designers, I've met you know, just so many people who like have built their own things, and I find that really inspiring. But in terms of like honestly any job market, even not related to film and creative, is probably going to be slightly difficult to find any job anywhere because there's a lot of competition. So if possible, please move here with a job in mind. I did not do that. I was lucky to kind of hop off the plane and go straight to a job interview for a restaurant, and I got that restaurant job. So I've been working at that restaurant for a year and a half now, but my goal is to quit. My goal is to quit. I've been vocal about that for a long time, so please like and subscribe to this channel so I can quit my restaurant job. Please, let's get monetized on YouTube so I can quit the restaurant. Thank you. I digress. But I've found a lot of opportunities still. I've done AC work, I've done PA work, I've done social media work, a lot of social media work out here. I've done, you know, lots of freelancing. So if you're gonna be a freelancer, this place is great. But take my advice that maybe you'll have to carve your own path like I'm doing. But in terms of job market, I do also want to touch on the fact that there are so many job markets that exist here that don't elsewhere. On the side of my restaurant, I also am I sell crystals on TikTok Shop Live. Never heard of that before, but there's apparently this whole industry of selling on TikTok Shop just from going live. So there's a lot of jobs for that right now. Handbags, shoes, makeup, skincare, clothing. I feel like clothing like that Princess Polly one is really viral. So that's kind of cool. So just be open to opportunities. Say yes to everything. If you don't think an opportunity is completely right for you, I've had a lot of things pop up where I'm like, I just don't think that that's going to be for me, but I'm going to say yes anyway, and it's going to give you at least some kind of experience in that regard that might take you somewhere else. I've worked for big TikTokers as a social media manager. I've done a lot of video editing. So yeah, just say yes to everything and see where it takes you. Another con, unfortunately, that is true. Traffic is horrendous. I know people frequently spend at least an hour to 2 hours in traffic there and back from their job a lot. And that just sounds soul-sucking to me. I can't do more than 40 minutes in traffic, and I highly recommend that you do not do more than 40 minutes in traffic. No. I recommend finding the neighborhood that you like and trying your best to work as close to that neighborhood as possible. But advice that I got, which I will also say that I found helpful, was and I said this in my last video, but live where you love, because your job is always going to change. I see that ringing true. I've just decided to take that advice because I lived close to work before and I hated my neighborhood. Now I live farther from work, but I love my neighborhood. I'll just say it's not worth it to waste your time and waste your life in bumper to bumper traffic. But if you choose to live close to work, that's also a very, very good idea, because it's very common. It's just better to not have to commute so far. Just pieces of advice. I'd like to just kind of give overall pieces of advice, things that I've learned here in LA that don't quite go into a category now that we've gotten like the obvious pros and cons out of the way. When it comes to apartment hunting, I talked about this a little bit in my last video, but since I've done it again, since I just moved again, I would say know your non-negotiables when it comes to what you want. One of my there's like low, high, medium non-negotiables in my opinion. Like high in my opinion for me was like, I need a big bedroom that could fit my king size bed and the TV and our 2 desks. Like I live with my fiance, we both have big desks. There are a lot of really awesome apartments that we found, but then the bedrooms were just shoe boxes, and I just can't do that. Unfortunately, I opted for not in-unit washer and dryer on site. It's also coin operated, so that is a little bit of a struggle for me, but I kind of don't mind going to the laundromat, just bringing my laundry. I do laundry twice a week because, you know, I have like a certain amount of work shirts, and I've just tried to make the most of that. Fortunately for me, I do have an updated kitchen. I have a dishwasher, stainless steel appliances. That was something that I really did want in my apartment. I'm glad I got that. It is a slightly older building though. So one piece of advice that I would give, I would rather have a slightly older, slightly outdated, a little bit cheaper apartment in a nicer neighborhood than a really nice updated apartment in a bad neighborhood. Luckily this apartment, one non-negotiable was covered parking included in the apartment, because I have dealt with street parking and it is horrible. And, you know, people break into cars and stuff. So now that my car is safe, I have somewhere to park every day. That is phenomenal. Highly recommend making sure your apartment has parking. But yeah, I would say just like, once again, find the neighborhood that you love, because Although LA is very spread out, that means that there is a lot of chances for you to find a place that you like. If you like the west side is just so different from the east side, and it's something that you just have to kind of come and experience. I'd say most like young people like myself like the east side, but I found myself liking the west side. I want to be close to the beach. I want to be in kind of bougie West Hollywood, Beverly Hills. I really enjoyed that side of LA. Like I'm going for the LA that's like 2016 Tumblr vibes, if that makes any sense to you. Like that's the LA that I grew up with and that I am finding in my everyday life. Try to find places that are walkable. Live in a walkable neighborhood is so much better. I can walk to Trader Joe's now. I can walk to Ralph's, which is a grocery store. I can walk to get my nails done. I can walk to so many restaurants. I can even walk to the bus that then takes me to anywhere else I want to go. Like my car was in the shop recently, and I just took the bus down to get matcha at Community Goods. Took the bus back, flawless. It was so quick, so fast. So that's what I love West Hollywood. Public transportation is pretty good in West Hollywood. That just reminded me, another piece of advice is that you do need a car. I'd say that you could get by on public transportation, but it's not the best. It's not New York City, that's for sure. They're making steps every single day to make public transportation more accessible in LA. However, it's so spread out. Like you got the valley, you got down to Inglewood, basically. Like LA County is so big that you are gonna need a car. I watched a TikTok recently of someone who said that she doesn't have a car in LA and it's actually cheaper for her than owning a car. And honestly, I could see that potentially as true. If you spend, say you have a $500 car payment every month, $200 car insurance, that's $700 right there. If you're spending Ubers that are anywhere between like $15 to $20 every time, you might be spending less than a car note. But that's just up for you to do the math and decide if that's true. I personally really love my car, and I have a nice car, thank goodness, so spending a lot of time in that car is effortless because it's a nice car, music is good. So yeah, if you're gonna spend all that time in traffic like you will, make your car nice as nice as possible. We're baddies on a budget, I get that. Another piece of advice is to take the time to explore and find your favorite coffee shops, parks, etc. There is so much to explore in LA. Even in my year and a half, I still have so much to explore. I just recently went for the first time. The Lake Hollywood Park is gorgeous, and it is a very touristy place. I am still a tourist in the city, but it was so cool to go see the Hollywood sign up close. I've discovered so many new matcha stores and coffee shops and like little pockets of communities everywhere. And I think it's really important to explore those, explore every part of LA and find the one that clicks with you. Find the place that clicks with you because every place is so different. Similar to that, participate in community. Join a run club. Join a craft place. Work somewhere that you never would work and hang out with your coworkers. Talk to people in the coffee shops, talk to people out at the club. Everyone is so unique and different here. Everyone's here creating something, pursuing something. So, invest time in finding those people and building that life, because you're gonna stay stuck if you don't go out and meet people. You're gonna stay miserable and stuck. Another piece of advice, find a balance between work and play. Don't work so hard that you don't have time for fun, but don't have so much fun that you forget what you moved here for. I heard that people who moved to Venice, moving here to pursue the film industry, ended up falling in love with surfer culture and just kind of forgetting their passions and surfing full time, which I completely understand why that happens to people, but I don't want, I've made it a goal of mine to not forget my passions, to not forget my ambitions, because it is easy to just romanticize the slow life. Film is a grind. Any creative pursuit, music, art, it's gonna be a grind for a long time. So be aware of that, and don't forget that. Don't forget that you moved here with a purpose. Don't forget that you moved here for something. It's so easy to just didn't work out for me this year, let's go somewhere else. I'm working really hard to not forget that. But on the flip side, I don't want to shame anyone who does decide to forget their ambition. You know what I mean? All that to say that I don't judge anyone who comes here to try it and it doesn't work out. I would always recommend coming here, trying it first, just so that you never have the what if in your mind of what if I never moved there? What if it did happen for me? Come here, try it. If it doesn't work out for you, there is so many other places to go move to, and I don't blame people for wanting to throw away the grind. I don't. But yeah, for me, I hope I don't ever forget forget my passion and forget why I moved here. And I want to every day do something creative and, you know, don't forget to romanticize your life even when things feel hard. Even though I'm not exactly where I want to be right now, I'm still somewhere that, you know, teenage or younger me was my dream. This is like something that I always wanted to do was to live in LA, live in California, and pursue my dream of film. So I romanticize my life every day, and I try not to forget that even though it's not perfect right now, I'm moving towards something. Every day I'm taking a step, and that's all I can do right now. So I push the same sentiment onto you to do something that fuels you every day. Don't let the harsh reality of being an artist get you down. If there's anything I didn't get to that you would like to know, please let me know in the comments. I could always do a separate video if there's anything in here that you want me to dive more specifically into. I feel like I talked about a lot of things and I feel like I was a little bit scattered, but I just don't want to like script my videos out too much. Like a lot of this is kind of off the dome. If you want an apartment tour of my new apartment, let me know. I'm still decorating it, so that could be a next video, decorating my new LA West Hollywood apartment. I wish you so much luck in your move to LA. It's so fun and beautiful and awesome here, and I think everyone should try it at least once. So that's my advice. That's everything I have to say, and good luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!